All right, how's it going? Today is Today in Art, and today is May 21st, 2019. What's Today in Art? It's basically me talking about current art events and going-ons. It's on YouTube. It's also on Anchor and other various podcasting platforms like Spotify and such. So let's just get into it. I had previously talked about the Ocasio-Cortez comic book they were doing. It's this one right here, but there seems to be an issue now, is because it's they kind of did like a Wonder Woman-esque type thing. So DC Comics is like sending a cease and desist. So let's just get into this. Ocasio-Cortez superhuman alter ego shut down by DC Comics, and this particular article is the New York Post, and I think they may have got something wrong. So let's for those just listening to the audio versions, basically the comic book cover shown here is like Ocasio and kind of like a it's similar to Wonder Woman's thing. She's standing on the red elephant for the Republican Party. Then you got like the blue donkey behind her going, eh. But let's get into this. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez may be a heroine to legions of fans, but Wonder Woman, she ain't. So says DC Comics. The publisher issued a cease and desist to a small comics company barring it from selling covers of the freshman Democratic in attire resembling that of Wonder Woman, according to Comic Sales. Devil's Due Comics is running a comic about AOC called Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and the Freshman Force. New party, who dis? That's terrible. I already made I'll link a should be like up here. I'll link a card to the previous one I did about this. So if you want to see that, grab a hamburger and grab a cup of cafefe and prepare to enjoy this read. A promotional webpage reads, citing jargon associated with President Trump. According to comicbook.com, we'll get into that too. DC Comics urged Devil's Due Comics not to distribute the 250 planned copies of the special cover with AOC wearing a metallic tiara and blue skirt and standing over a knocked-out red elephant. Copies with different covers were not challenged, but the Wonder Woman theme can still be found online. A copy was selling for about $25 on eBay on Saturday night. Devil's Due Comics advertises several comics with political themes like Talk Bernie to Me and Barack the Barbarian. So if you actually go to Devil's Due, the one that they said was an issue is this one that's still for sale. I think New York Post got it wrong, and if you go to actually the original article they cite, it says it's another one here, so we'll get into this. This is on comicbook.com. DC Comics sent cease and desist over cover depicting Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez as Wonder Woman. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is making waves in Washington, D.C., but she's also making waves in the comics world too, though for different reasons. Ocasio-Cortez is the subject of a new comic from Devil's Due titled Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and the Freedom Force, New Party Who This. And in promotion of the launch, the publisher has been offering up special limited retailer variant covers. One particular cover came under scrutiny for DC Comics, though, being a bit too close to their iconic character, Wonder Woman, for their liking. And now they've sent a cease and desist to Devil's Due. The cover in question was a New York Collector Cave retailer exclusive cover by artist Carla Cohen, which, as you can see below, does bear a strong resemblance to DC's Wonder Woman. Ocasio-Cortez has this A symbol where the typical W would go, but it's not hard to make the leap to Diane of Themyscira. I don't know what that is. The print run was already going to be a small 250 copies, but once DC sent their cease and desist notice, that will now be even smaller, as DC requested the covers not to be distributed, but recalled, returned, and destroyed. The cover, however, has already been printed, so while 250 won't be available, There will be some to get your hands on if you want them, but do not expect the price. But do expect the price to jump. My nose is stuffed up. The cover was originally sold for $30 by New York Collector Cave, and then jumped to $40 from several sellers on eBay, and it jumped again to $70 on eBay, and you can bet it will make another jump over the next week or so. So what they're showing here is, I wonder if I can actually, what they're showing is this one, and this is pretty much a straight ripoff of Wonder Woman with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's like face on there. So I think actually what is going on is at that one particular shop it was talking about, the New York Collector Cave, I think there's 250 that's going to be there with this particular cover. This is like an actual painting. It's like, if this is, it looks like it's I mean, it could be acrylic, but it's a possibility it's an oil painting. It's done kind of like in a kind of traditional, like realistic style. Like the painting itself, if that's what this actually is. It could be a digital painting, I guess. But the painting itself is done really well. But it looks like they painted kind of a Wonder Woman thing. Then you can see the A is a little different, and then the face is made like hers. Like the A kind of stands out. So I believe actually that's the special one that DC had an issue with, and the one the New York Post is talking about is it obviously kind of pulls from Wonder Woman, but it kind of has almost like this Batman symbol here too. Well, look at this. Oh, that's not what I was wanting to do. So I think this one there's not really an issue with, but when you look at actually this one, there's like there's a possible huge copyright issue with that. Now, another thing, if you're an artist, depending on what type of work you're going to do, knowing or understanding, or at least understanding like the basics of copyright will be a big thing. Like, I believe, like, if you're curious about it, if you're curious about copyright, Richard Prince is an artist you can look at, because in the past he's pretty much like taken like Marlboro ads as his own. Then recently he has essentially taken kind of like popular Instagram photos and blown them up and printed out, and he put like a little comment with his name under it. So that's his like kind of, because you can't just straight rip something off, so he kind of changed it just a little bit. There has to be at least there has to be like some kind of change, some kind of alteration to say that it is yours. And him printing it out with his like comment underneath was his saying for that. But if there's other ones too, if you want to get into, there's people that kind of do like derivative artwork. That's like kind of artwork that's very similar to previous artwork. Like people will do like the Coke can and the symbol and the Campbell soup cans, kind of like Andy Warhol did. But getting back to this, see, I can see a clear issue with that. If you've been wanting an Ocasio-Cortez Wonder Woman cover, you best be getting it now, because they're going fast. You can check out the official description below. So, but then again, if someone has like a painting and sells the painting itself with this, I don't know if it's necessarily be a copyright issue, because there is a change. But when you're printing it commercially like that for a cover, but then again, a cease and desist doesn't necessarily mean that they're wrong. It's just, it's like, hey, we could possibly maybe, a lot of times a cease and desist by a larger corporation, they use that as a scare tactic. Now, if Devils do really wanted to, it sounds like they're like, okay, like we kind of screwed up, and they're like, because there's 250 and like some of them got out, but the rest of them they're like holding. But if they really wanted to, they could sell the 250 and be like, hey, DC, we think it's not we think it's altered, well, screw you, then it could possibly even go into court. But DC seems like it's not really that huge of a like they may not have the money and the litigation power or like the finances to battle DC Comics, since DC is like one of the largest, is a huge corporation. So like corporations will like throw their, I mean, they have like probably a whole, you know, like law firm working for them or whatever. But also on a side note, I was kind of looking here. You can see on eBay where these are like going for like crazy amount of prices. Because there's some people that are, where's it at? From what it looks like, it's these particular ones that were sold particularly at the was it the New York Collector Cave. But like the way the New York Post and other places have done it, it seems like these are mistakenly, because people are like trying to like get these like authenticated and then selling them for like an upcharge. Because I think this by itself is, because the normal 6, then the Ultra one's 10, but if you get it, looks like it's signed, it's 15. Then people are trying to upsell it for, you know, for like $30 under, whether they think it's actually legitimately that's the one that's under the. There's a lot of misinformation, it seems. But from like poking around, it seems to be that it's this particular cover that was sold at the New York Collector Cave. Which that one's like way entirely different. Because that one's, I mean, obviously there's like ones that are like, this one's like 2,000, but there's like, it doesn't look like there's any bids on this one, which there shouldn't be for that crazy of a price. This one's 900. Yeah, some people are trying to like jump on this. Trying to think. See, this one has this one's for like 322 right now, and it has 11 bids on it. So it seems like the ones that are not crazy priced may actually see, this one has 32 bids and it's going for like 380 at the moment. So they may, let's actually look at the bids on this one and see where they started it out as. Come on, reload. Yeah, so this one started out as like $1, then $2, $20, $50, $55. It's like it's gone up and up and up and up and up. So just because it got recalled, essentially. So now it's kind of like a collector's item. But on a side note, because if you looked at the previous video, I kind of talked about the artwork they've shown in the inside that it wasn't too impressive. But the Babylon Bee, which is a parody, I got to make it, is like, it's a parody site. It does kind of like, you wouldn't call it fake news, but it's like funny parody stuff. And they actually kind of came up with an exclusive look at the new AOC comic book. And the funny, because it goes and it shows like 4 different panels. Like, if this was an actual comic book, I consider buying this one. The way that this one's actually done good. It's like AOC like punching an airplane. Then AOC like fighting like what was it? It's AOC like there's like a cow apocalypse. Well, a cow's like shooting its farts. Then it's Thomas Sowell using basic economics to like kind of, that's her kind of like kryptonite, basic math. Then she's using the inclusivity gauntlet to basically wipe out half of people, because that's inclusive. But the thing is, like, comparing this to the other one, like, the way, this is a parody, this is not true, but the way that these 4 panels are actually rendered out and done are way better than the other one, which I think is kind of funny. Yeah, but I think that this is the one that, from what I can tell, this is the one that they have an issue with, which is it's pretty much like people can look at this and like think that it is Wonder Woman, not really kind of realize that then the face may not even like really realize, but yeah, that's what's going on with that. I just really kind of want to do that since I kind of did the other one. But yeah, this has been Today in Art, May 21st, 2019. Like I said, this is on YouTube. It's also on various platforms. I am going to create, or I'm in the process of creating, its own separate Instagram page. It'd be just pretty much like just the thumbnails. So if you want to follow that, that's cool. But if you want to support me, the links are below. If you're on YouTube, you can comment, like, dislike. Other various sites, if it lets you make a comment, that'd be cool. If not, all right. So, peace.